Connie, and welcome to this week's reading. Now, this reading is about what is one of your best traits. And the thing is, we're very good at picking up on what we're not good at, but I'm going to channel Spirit today and share with you what they want to encourage is one of your best traits. So, you would have chosen the three objects. We had the heart, which was object number 1, the rainbow object number 2, and the flower, which was object number 3. So I'm going to timestamp the readings in the description, and know that this is a general reading, so take what resonates for you. So object 1 is the heart. So let's just grab some cards and we'll tune in to you beautiful souls who chose the heart to see what one of your best traits are, because we need to know these things, right? We need to know so that we sometimes, we have compliments for people, but we don't share it with them. And I think it's a really lovely thing that when you really see something in someone that you love, you really want to share it with them. Let them know. Because there's nothing worse than, God forbid, hearing that, someone's no longer in your life for whatever reason, and missing that opportunity to share with them what you got out of that relationship or how you felt about them. So straight away with your reading, look, we've got the chakras. This beautiful deck here is the Psychic Tarot, and there's only 7 cards that are chakras, so I know that you've got 2 of them out of this whole complete deck, and you've got the control card as well. So there's something about you, you're quite the peacekeeper. So people will come to you to give you, give you their story. You hold space. You're quite the healer. So this is actually one of your beautiful traits. Now it's up to you to harness this trait, harness this talent, because it's innate. Like something you were born with. You're someone who doesn't go looking for a fight or a debate. And if somebody says something that you don't agree with, you have a real strong belief in, it's better to be kind than right. So you'll retract from saying that's wrong or correcting them purely because you want to stay nice. Now that is a beautiful trait, but Spirit is also allowing you and giving you permission from here on in to be able to have that strength to say what you're feeling at the time as well. So you're allowed to tell your story and speak your truth. But your actual beautiful trait about you is that you just nourish people. They want to be around you. They want to tell you how their day went. They want to speak with you. They want to tell you. When something beautiful happens, they want to hear what you have to say. So you're a wise counselor. You hold space and you nurture people so they feel loved, accepted, and appreciated. The number one human need is to be understood. I wouldn't be surprised if you simply say, I understand, and people just melt into that. This is something you're born with, and if you haven't unleashed it yet or nurtured it, allow yourself, because it's okay for you to be that person. I wouldn't be surprised if you're a carer, a nurse, a healer, a mother, or just someone who absolutely adores looking after people, because there's some connection here to past lives as well, where this has been your purpose for many, many lifetimes. Now, you do have a need to control situations. So, for instance, if there's, and I keep, I feel like saying, if there's a death in the family, and before when I was explaining how, when someone's no longer in your life, you wish you shared with them. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if you've lost someone recently, because that's a bit of a theme that came out at the start and now. And in that, know that they can hear you, communicate, and open up that channel between you and Spirit, because there's nothing worse than not being able to say how you feel at the time, because you're holding space for others. So I wouldn't be surprised if when someone passes, for example, you're the one that will go and make the meals for the family, or you're the one that will help organise a funeral, or you're the one that takes full control when people are in that time of despair and numbness. You will step up. And it's like when trauma happens, you're there. You make everything happens smoothly and let people go through the motions at that time. You're very, very good at that. And I also know that after everybody subsides emotionally and months ahead, that's when you all of a sudden sometimes fall to pieces and break apart, purely because you go into control mode. When things happen, you go, right, I know what to do, and you're out there doing it and you're getting shit done. I wouldn't be surprised if you're an event manager or anything like that, or you like to create people coming together and celebrations. So not only, and I know I get the past people, but that's something that you are just designed to do. You bring people together and you help them when they're suffering, but just be mindful that when you pull away and you're not needed as much in that event, that you're doing the right things to rebuild and fill your cup, so that again when tragedy strikes, you're there to fill the bits. That's how I'm getting it for you, because you're bloody good at it. And you just go into survival mode, you know what to do, and you get things done. Now, you're very much connected with spirit. You've got your heart space constantly activated with your crown chakra, so it's literally falling in. You get downloads a lot, you get guided a lot of the time. You're like, well, I did that, but I don't know why I did that, it just felt right. And you're on track because you're picking up the messages that are falling constantly. Spirit's guiding you. It's like you just do things and just go, how did I do that? How did I just pick up the pieces for all those people going through that much grief and not feel it like they were feeling it, because I was feeding them, or I was, driving here or there, or I just, helped everybody in this trauma situation, yet I fed off it. I actually got things done because you're very useful. That's how you survive. You come and you pick up the puzzle and you put things together. But you're getting downloads constantly from spirit. They're guiding you. It's almost like you work for spirit. I don't know if you even know this, but when you sort of think and ponder on that, it'll make sense. So the thing is here, what you're good at is being the beacon, the light in a crisis. You're the light in the darkness. You're actually designed to be that. You've been doing it even though you may not even realize. And I want you to just pat yourself on the back, because you have really endured a lot. You've helped people through darkness, and that's what you do as a person. That is your purpose. That's your existence, and you're doing bloody brilliant. But like I said, it might be 3 or 4 months after the event or after the fact, but that's where you need to regroup and pull back, have some space to yourself, and fill your cup before you can go back out to do this. So if this is something you do for a living, whether or not you're a funeral director, or whether you're a carer or a helper or a nurse or a healer, you need to retreat. And I mean, when you retreat, it needs to be like at least a week or two of whether you're a teacher even, there might be that break on school holidays where you literally just switch off. But you need that time. And if you're not doing that, that's what you need to start creating, because your trait is that you care. You literally care deeply, and you can switch it on, but you need to switch it off to be able to regroup. And that's why you are who you are. You're a bloody legend. I love what you do. I love what you're about. Keep it up, and know that people need you, but you need to regroup before you can go to the next challenge, so to speak. And that is what your best trait is and what you're needed for. And you chose the heart for reading number 1. All right. That was gorgeous. So you're the type of person that people want in their life, but also know when to step back. And sometimes people won't want your help, which is really challenging too. That's a challenging part. when they don't want your help, but you want to give it to them. And in that, I suggest you sit in meditation, ask your higher self to send love and light to their higher self, and they'll either take it or not. And that's completely fine, but at least you're doing something actively, because you can't just sit back and watch stuff happen. I wouldn't be surprised if you do fundraisers as well. That's the type of energy I get with you. And that is reading number 1. Now, object number 2, if you were drawn to the rainbow, what is your best trait? Let's have a look. What cards am I being pulled to? These ones for you. Now, your best trait. Now, let's see what Spirit has to say for you. Oh my gosh. Sorry. Okay. Yep. There you go. I'm allowed to use that one. Door to personal healing and happiness. Man holding a heart. And the third one is the thinking man. Okay. Now, I don't usually do gender-specific readings at all, but for some reason, I feel like there's a male energy in this reading, okay? Like, it doesn't have to be a man, so to speak, but there's a male energy, which usually the male energy that comes through is quite providing, you know, supportive. So there's you're quite the provider, you're quite supportive, and that's what you actually make people feel safe. All right. All right. Hang on. You actually don't have to do much. You actually, like, the first reading was all about taking control and helping people through things. Yours is more just being around. You know how I know sometimes I say to my husband, you know, I don't need you to fix anything, because I believe that with men in my life, they tend to want to fix things, and if they can't fix things, they sort of, you know, break down or switch off and just go, well, if I can't fix this, forget it. I don't want to know anything about it. Whereas sometimes I'd like to give my husband direction and simply say, I just need you to listen. I need to vent. I need to rant. I don't want a solution. I don't want advice. I actually don't even want you to respond. I just want you to listen. And he does that for me. And then he goes, are you done? And I go, I am. And that's all I needed. So there's something here about you being able to hold this space for people, because when you allow them just to speak and to rant and to be them, you give them what they need without judgment. You don't judge. You've got this beautiful trait in you that you allow people to be who they are around you. You've got this flair about you. People want what you have. It's just an energetic thing. This is something that you actually haven't worked on. This is just who you are. And that's why it's so authentic. You don't like the bullshit. You don't go into people's dramas. It's not about that. And that's why you don't even really comment. You just hold space and you just give them that energy that they need to know that they're fully supported and heard. That's what you do. You really nurture them just by being you. There's not much here that you're doing. And you can see that this man is holding a heart. This man is holding what looks to be a crystal. So you're literally just holding space for people to be themselves. And you know, and not speaking, you're thinking about it because, you know, you acknowledge and if they ask for your advice, you're there with it, but you don't do it willy-nilly. You don't just go and say blah, 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 or I've been through this and you don't make it about yourself. You actually consider it from their point of view. And when they ask, and if they ask, you invite them to, but you don't need them to ask for your opinion or your advice. You've thought it through based on who they are, not who you are. Because there's nothing worse than asking someone for their advice and them going, oh, if it was me, I'd blah, 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 blah. But they're talking about if it was them based on their hurts, their insecurities, their traumas, what they've been through. Whereas you don't do that. You can separate yourself, become them. And then say, well, you've got to remember that this has happened to you, or this is your opinion, or this is what happened last time. And you weigh it up based on who they are and help them think it through. And it's an absolute gorgeous trait. Like, you're a beautiful friend. Now, oh, look at that. There's the rainbow. How gorgeous. I didn't even see that. It's right there because you're bringing the healing and happiness just by opening the door to letting them through. And 3 and 4 is a 7, and I get 7 quite strongly for you. And I know that that's a number that's quite significant. So look out for 7s as well, okay? Yeah, but yours is quite straightforward because you don't like to complicate things. But please allow yourself to be that beacon of that light, be that person. And just know that there's nothing for you to do. You don't need to work it out. You don't need to have the solution. You just keep needing to be you. And that is what your trait is. You're just a bloody beautiful soul. Keep it up. You're doing fantastic. And I'd love you on my side. I'd love you to be in my circle. I'd love to be able to access you to just say blah, 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 blah. And you just go, yep, I hear you. And like the other day, I was ranting again to my husband and I was spiraling. I had a lot of stuff going on out of my control. And I was taking it on board like it was mine, like I had to fix it. But it wouldn't have mattered what I did. It would have just always played out the way it did. And I was really struggling with that. And then I started putting my spiraling energy onto my husband, and he's like, why are you trying to dramatize everything? What's going on? And then I realized what I was doing, and I pulled myself back, and I said to him, you know what? If you see me spiraling, or if I have things that I'm, not behaving how I usually behave, clearly I'm going through stuff, and clearly I'm not communicating and letting you know. But just so you know, blah, 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 blah has happened in the last 2 weeks, and I haven't told you because I've been busy, you've been busy, and that happens. But all I need you to say to me is, I got ya. I got ya. That's all. I don't want a solution. I don't want anything. I just want you to say, I've got ya. And this is what you offer. That's what you offer to people, and that is enough. And I need you to really own that because it's very, very important when people need to hear that you've got them. You hold the space. You hold the heart. You hold the crystal. And look at the beautiful door you open with the beautiful rainbow. That's who you are. And you're an absolute gorgeous soul. And thank you. Because the more you do it, the more people will do it around you. Keep being that. And that is your reading for card number 2. Love the rainbow reading. How beautiful. You are just a magic soul. I'd love to hear any comments. Please feel free to share at the bottom. I'd love to know what role you play, or when I say role, what you do for a living, or what you do, or how that resonates with you. And that is the rainbow. And last but not least, we have the beautiful object number 3, the flower. And as we know, flowers blossom, they bloom, but they also can, die off through the seasons, but then they always come back renewed. So that's very important too. So with the object number 3, I'm being pulled to these cards. So let's just shuffle and get a bit more information. Yep, thank you. Confusion, talent guides, mentors, teachers, and goddess of dreams. I'm allowed to get one more for you. One more. Prophets, ancients, decisions, predictive guidance. Okay. All right, so your trait is that all these cards here are like you are, if you're not doing spiritual work at the moment, I'll go he. The thing is, you are so connected to your spiritual team, it's not funny. Now, I hope you're in the healing industry. I hope you are, because if you're not, I need you to get into it. And the thing is, I believe that us light workers are here right now in the world that it is purely to lift everybody's frequency and vibration. And at the moment in this world, it's absolutely a fantastic space to recreate, because we've all, in general terms, the last couple of years, we've all been locked down. We've all been told what to do, to think, to feel, and all this sort of stuff. And there's been quite a lot of confusion. There's been so many things that we've believed and not believed and questioned. And now everybody's at a point where, I'm a big believer there's a mass resignation, and that could be just a title. But there's people that, there's lack in the way things used to be. So this is a whole new existence now, and it's really exciting because people are going back to basics. They're doing things for themselves. We're not relying on anyone to come to save us, so to speak. People are going inside to get the questions and the answers and that type of thing. And you're really helping the collective lift. You're absolutely helping the collective lift. And this is your purpose. I can feel it in my bones. I can feel it everywhere, because you're all about lifting the frequency of the collective. You are a light worker, and I really hope that you're sharing this magic that you are, because not only will you help people work out their confusion, but you're bringing in all your spirit mentors and teachers. They're dropping in, but this is you. You're like, the thing is, you've got the Midas touch at the moment. Everything you touch turns to gold. Like, you can excel anywhere you go, but you're showing this in people. You're empowering people. So I don't know if you mentor people or you coach people or anything like that, because you are an excellent guide, because you can tune in, you can read people, you can deliver messages really well, and you're almost a chameleon. You can become whoever you're around so that you resonate and they hear the message that comes through spirit. So you must be channeling. If you don't already know this, when you say something, when you're in this flow, when you say something, find out where it came from. Did you hear it? Did you feel it? Did you know it? And I really want you to work on your clairs, okay? Clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience. Like, there's so many different clairs on how we actually receive our messages from spirit. And I want you to start dissecting how you're getting your messages, because you are. If you already know this, that's great. But if you don't, I want you to start making friends with the clairs, okay? Just do a Google search and go, oh, hang on, I get that. Oh, I know that, And when I do readings with people, sometimes I smell smoke of a grandpa that had passed, his cigar, and there's no smoke anywhere, but I can smell it. Or I can taste the bread of the baker or something like that. And it's just amazing how, when we get to know what the clairs are, that we can awaken them, activate them, and we learn how to use them. And that's what your talent is. This is something that you are actually designed to do. You're absolutely brilliant at this, and I need you to tap into it, because the world needs you. The world needs you. This is the best trait that anybody could actually have. And you've already got the intuition, the receptivity. Oh, this is exciting. Like, seriously, you need to be doing this work if you're not already. There needs to be an aspect. So even if you're in an industry that doesn't require any of this, you're already tapping into it and being your best self in the role that you're doing. So I'm not saying you have to change roles or anything like that, but definitely tap into this with what you're doing daily, okay? Because you're open to it and you're really receiving the messages really well. And it's just it's time that you get in there and really understand what the message is and why, so you can play around with it a little bit and practice. Like, if your phone rings, before you pick it up, think, tune in, who might that be? And start practicing. Or if, you're at a stop sign and a car's going to come up the hill or something, before you see the car, visualize what sort of car it is, what color it is there someone in the passenger seat, all that type of thing. I do it when I'm in the bank line. If you're standing in the bank or in a line at a shop and you can feel someone come up behind you, visualize it. Sorry, I was interrupted yesterday with this reading, and it is the day after, and I've come back to finish it. So hence the beautiful nails. But continuing, so what I was saying was, practice your intuition. So if you see a car coming up a hill, like, you can hear it but you can't see it, just visualize what color it may be before you actually see it. and just really hone into these abilities, because you were born with them. We actually all are born with them, but we get to about the age 5, 6 where society may squash those type of abilities. But with you, you've always had it, whether or not you're keeping it to yourself or not, it's always been there. And that is one of the best traits about you, because you can sense things like that. Now, Spirit is here to let you know that, you know what, it is time for you to harness this. It's time for you to own up to it. Now, I've always had this ability myself, but growing up, I would be very mindful about who I'd talk to about it, and I'd be a bit shady almost with my skill, or talent or trait, whatever it may be. And I feel like you've been holding this close to your chest, and it's time now that you bring it out, nurture it, let it be your baby. And as you grow, it will grow with you, because it's time that we really lift the collective. We raise the vibration, the frequency, and we do all those beautiful things. And that's why we're here, right now. I believe that we've all signed up. I believe that it is our time to shine. And when we shine, other people will shine around us. And that's exactly what is happening with these cards. Now, I know this is a general reading. There may be parts that you don't, not so much for me. But I want you to even revisit this, because this is a very strong reading, this one. So please take whatever resonates and leave the rest aside. But do revisit it. I do ask that, and I don't say that often, but I do have other videos on my channel, so feel free to tune in and see what's coming out to you, because I feel like now you're a bit of a sponge. You want more information, and there's quite a few other videos there. There's meditations and EFT videos and that type of thing, so tap into them. But please take that, hold it close and nurture it. That's the message that I'm getting with this. Spirit is very close to you at the moment. It's actually very close, to the point where there's things that are just happening that's undeniable. There's love and there's support, and they are very excited about what you're going to offer next. But make sure you're looking after yourself along this journey also. So that is your reading. I hope you take that on board. And know that you are supported during this. That's the main thing as well. You are supported, because this trait is absolutely phenomenal. Harness it, enjoy it, embrace it, and let it flow. And thank you very much for tuning in today. And please be kind to others, but especially be kind to yourself. Take care. See you next time. Peace out.